There comes a moment in life when you realize that the noise around you has been shaping you more than your own inner voice. Opinions, expectations, constant chatter. It's as if the world never stops telling you who you should be, how you should act, and what you should chase. But here's the truth. The greatest transformations don't happen in the spotlight. They happen in silence. They happen when you finally decide to step back, stop explaining yourself to everyone, and begin to focus entirely on your own growth. Most people live their lives as open books, narrating every move, sharing every dream, defending every decision. But the most powerful shifts occur when you stop feeding the noise. Imagine for a moment, what would happen if you channeled all the energy you spend explaining yourself into building yourself? What if, instead of trying to be understood, you simply became undeniable? This is the power of focusing on yourself and staying silent. Silence is not weakness. It is strategy. It is self-respect. It is the refusal to let distractions dictate your destiny. When you are silent, people begin to notice your actions more than your words. They wonder what you're building. They sense the change. And while they are busy guessing, you are busy growing. The most successful transformations rarely come with announcements. They come with results. You see, the reason many people stay stuck is not because they lack potential. It's because they leak energy. Every argument, every unnecessary explanation, every desperate attempt to prove yourself is a leak. You lose focus, you lose momentum, and before you know it, you're exhausted without having moved an inch closer to your real goals. But when you decide to go silent, you seal those leaks. You stop giving your power away for free. Think of the seed underground. It does not scream to the world, "I'm growing." It does not post daily updates about its progress. It simply does the work, in silence, in darkness, until one day it breaks through the soil, undeniable, unstoppable, ready to face the sun. That's how your transformation should be. Quiet, focused, consistent, until your results make the noise for you. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is essential. It is the act of finally prioritizing the one person you have neglected for far too long, yourself. You have poured your energy into others' opinions, others' needs, others' timelines. But tell me, when was the last time you sat with yourself and asked, what do I truly want? Who do I truly want to become? Silence gives you that space. It removes the pressure to respond, to perform, to entertain, and allows you to listen, not to them, but to you. The world will try to pull you in every direction. Friends will demand your attention, social media will demand your reaction, and even family might demand your explanation. But growth demands your focus, transformation demands your discipline, and peace demands your silence. The moment you realize that not everyone deserves access to your inner journey is the moment you start to rise. There's a quiet power in walking away from arguments that don't serve you. There's strength in keeping your plans to yourself until they are ready. There's confidence in letting people underestimate you while you work behind the scenes. Silence protects your dreams from premature judgment. Focus shields your energy from constant distraction. Together, they create the perfect storm for transformation. So how do you start? Begin by creating boundaries, not to push people away, but to protect your priorities. Start saying no to things that drain you. Stop explaining every decision. Learn to be okay with being misunderstood for a season. Because the truth is, the people who truly matter will understand without explanation, and the ones who don't, well, they were never really listening anyway. This is your reminder. You do not need to announce every step of your journey. Let your results be the announcement. Let your glow be the proof. Let your silence become the canvas where your success is painted. Focus on your health. Focus on your growth. Focus on your peace. Speak less. Do more. Watch how your life begins to transform. Not because you shouted your plans, but because you mastered your focus. And as you do this, something magical happens. Your energy starts to shift. You begin to attract different conversations, different people, different opportunities. You become magnetic, not because you're trying to be seen, but because you're quietly becoming someone worth noticing. That's the paradox of silence. The less you speak, the more your presence speaks for you. Silence is more than the absence of noise. It is a form of discipline. It is the act of withholding what does not serve your higher purpose. Every time you resist the urge to explain yourself unnecessarily, every time you choose not to broadcast your plans before they're ready, you're practicing self-control. And self-control is a form of power. Think about how much energy is wasted every day in meaningless conversations, defensive explanations, and fruitless debates. Now imagine if all of that energy was redirected into your goals, your habits, your growth. The person who learns to control their tongue gains the ability to control their future, because words can create distractions, but actions create results. Start by observing your own patterns. How often do you feel compelled to share your plans with people who neither support nor understand them? How many times have you allowed doubt to enter your mind simply because someone questioned your path? This is where silence becomes your shield. When you stop giving away your blueprint, you protect it from unnecessary interference. Focus, on the other hand, is the fuel. It is what turns silence from a passive state into an active force. Focusing on yourself is not about isolating yourself from the world. It's about centering your energy so you can move with clarity. You begin to ask, what matters most right now? What will take me one step closer to my vision? When you live in this state of conscious focus, you stop being reactive to life and start becoming deliberate. The journey will not always feel comfortable. There will be moments when your silence is misinterpreted as arrogance. There will be times when people accuse you of being distant or selfish. But remember this: people who benefit from your distraction will never celebrate your discipline. That's why staying silent is an act of courage, because it often means standing alone for a while. As the days pass, you will notice something powerful. Your mind becomes clearer. The noise that once filled your thoughts begins to fade. You start hearing your own ideas more vividly. Your intuition, which was drowned out by constant chatter, starts to guide you again. And with that clarity comes strength. The strength to make decisions that align with who you are becoming, not who others expect you to be. Focus also means being selective with your environment. If you want to transform your life, start by transforming what you consume, the conversations you entertain, the media you scroll through, the opinions you absorb. Every piece of information carries energy, and your focus is the gateway. Protect it. Choose what nourishes your mind instead of what drains it. There is another layer to this journey: the inner dialogue. Staying silent externally is powerful, but true transformation happens when you quiet the chaos inside. How often do you find yourself replaying past mistakes or predicting future failures? That is noise too. To focus on yourself means to master the art of inner stillness. Meditation, journaling, deep reflection. These are not luxuries. They are necessities for the silent builder. And then comes the breakthrough. One day, without even trying to prove anything, people will notice the change. They will see a version of you that is calmer, sharper, and more determined. Your results will begin to speak, and those who once doubted you will start to wonder how you did it. The answer will always be the same. You stopped talking about growth and started living it. Silence teaches patience. Focus teaches consistency. Together, they build resilience, the kind that does not crumble when opinions shift or when challenges arise. Because now your validation comes from within, not from applause. And that, my friend, is when you become unstoppable. To fully embrace this transformation, commit to a simple truth. Not everyone deserves to know your journey, but you deserve to live it fully. Stop waiting for approval. Stop announcing every move. Start making moves that don't need an announcement. Transformation is never an accident. It is a consequence of conscious choices made over and over again, even when no one is watching. Focusing on yourself And staying silent is one of those choices. It requires discipline, and at times it feels like sacrifice, but the results are undeniable. The more you protect your energy, the more it multiplies. The less you explain yourself, the more power you reclaim. Let's talk about the practical side. How do you live this truth daily? Start with the mornings. Before you open your phone, before you scroll through the chaos of the world, take a few moments to be with yourself. Ask, what is my focus today? What deserves my energy? This is where clarity begins, not with noise, but with intention. Silence your surroundings so your purpose can speak. Next, practice strategic sharing. Not everyone needs access to your dreams. Share your vision only with those who nurture it, not those who secretly compete with it. The world is full of opinions that can derail your progress. Protect your blueprint like a seed. Nurture it privately until it's strong enough to face the elements. This is not secrecy. This is maturity. Then create rituals that reinforce your focus. Whether it's reading a few pages of a powerful book, journaling your goals, exercising to sharpen your discipline, or spending an hour creating something meaningful, these are acts of self-investment. And here's the beauty. Every minute you invest in yourself compounds over time. While others are busy proving themselves through noise, you are quietly building a life that speaks for itself. You will encounter resistance. Old habits will tempt you to overshare. Old environments will lure you back into distraction. People may question your silence because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. But here's a truth you must hold. Your path does not require their understanding. It only requires your consistency. Another essential step is learning the art of observation. When you stay silent, you begin to notice things you never saw before. Who truly supports you, who only claps when you're quiet, and who disappears when you shine. Silence sharpens your intuition. Focus reveals hidden patterns. And together, they give you the wisdom to move smarter, not louder. As your focus deepens, you'll notice a shift in your self-worth. You will no longer chase validation because you'll be too busy creating real value. You will stop competing with others because you'll finally see that your only competition is who you were yesterday. This is the transformation that the noisy world does not teach, because true power is built, not broadcasted. And let's not forget the emotional strength this path builds. Staying silent in a world that feeds on attention is an act of rebellion. It means choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term applause. It means staying grounded when the world tries to pull you in 100 directions. It means you are finally playing the long game. Here's the paradox. The more silent you become, the louder your impact grows. People will sense your discipline. They will feel your focus. They will want to know your secret. And yet, they won't be able to copy it, because what you are building is rooted in something deeper: self-respect, patience, and vision. So ask yourself today, where am I leaking energy? Who am I explaining myself to that doesn't deserve an explanation? What habits keep me noisy but not progressing? Answer those questions honestly, then act on them. Every answer will point you toward one truth. Your next level requires less noise and more action. You don't need to disappear completely. You just need to stop being available for everything. Choose silence not as an escape, but as an advantage. Let your actions be the language people remember you by. Let your growth be the message. And when your life begins to transform, and it won't be because you shouted your worth. It will be because you finally chose to live it. There comes a point in every transformation when the silence begins to pay off. At first, it feels slow, like nothing is happening. You're keeping your plans private, investing in yourself, building quietly, while others seem loud and unstoppable. But silence is deceptive. It works in the shadows, and then, all at once, the results start to surface. People notice your health improving, your presence strengthening, your energy changing. They wonder what happened, and the truth is, nothing happened to you. You happened to yourself. Real-life transformation is rarely dramatic at the beginning. It starts with small, deliberate choices. waking up a little earlier to focus on your mind, saying no to a conversation that drains you, deciding not to post your every move online. These small acts create momentum. Over time, they harden into discipline, and that discipline becomes your advantage. Think of those who have achieved real success, not the ones who flash it, but the ones who live it. Their growth was not built on endless talking. It was built on endless doing. Behind their achievements were countless silent nights, thousands of private decisions, and moments of doubt they never broadcasted. They focused on themselves. They allowed the world to underestimate them. And when their time came, their results made the announcement. This is what you are stepping into when you choose this path. It will not always be comfortable. People may ask, "Why are you so quiet lately?" Or "Why don't you share more?" And you will smile, because you will know something they don't. You are building something worth protecting. Every day you protect your focus, you water the seed of your future. Here is where the emotional shift happens. As you focus on yourself, you start to heal. The noise that once demanded your attention begins to lose its grip. You stop living for approval and start living for purpose. You stop performing and start progressing. And with that comes peace, a deep, unshakable peace that no one can take from you because it wasn't given by them in the first place. Now imagine the alternative: living loudly, sharing everything, trying to convince everyone of your worth, only to feel emptier inside. That is the trap most people fall into. They become performers in their own lives, constantly feeding an audience that doesn't even care. But not you. You have chosen the harder, wiser path, the path of silence, of focus, of real growth. So what does this look like in action? It looks like staying out of meaningless debates. It looks like saying, "I'll show you," instead of "I'll tell you." It looks like quietly mastering your craft, improving your health, building your future without applause. And then one day, the world will have no choice but to notice. The beauty of this journey is that it doesn't just change your results, it changes your identity. You become someone who no longer needs to announce everything. You become someone who commands respect without asking for it. You become someone whose presence is louder than any explanation. The silence you practice today becomes the strength you carry tomorrow. The focus you protect now becomes the future you step into later. It is a form of self-love, one that does not beg for attention, but earns it naturally, through consistency, through growth, through quiet power. And here is the ultimate truth: people respect what they cannot predict. When you stop revealing your every move, when you stop defending your every choice, you become unpredictable, and therefore unforgettable. That is the kind of energy that opens doors, attracts opportunities, and changes your life. So as you move forward, remember this: silence is not about hiding, it is about building. Focus is not about isolation, it is about creation. Together, they make you unstoppable, not because the world claps for you, but because you no longer need it to. This is the moment where it all comes together: the silence, the focus, the discipline, the patience. You've walked through the noise, you've endured the doubt, and now you stand on the edge of something extraordinary. The version of you that does not beg to be seen, but cannot be ignored. Understand this: your silence is not emptiness, it is presence. Every time you choose not to respond, not to explain, not to defend, you are speaking the language of power. You are telling the world, "I am not here to prove, I am here to become." And that is a language only the strong can understand. So what happens next? Transformation is not a one-time event. It is a lifestyle. It is waking up tomorrow and making the same decision you made today: to protect your energy, to prioritize your growth, to build without noise. It is choosing to leave the room when gossip starts. It is choosing to work on your craft when others are busy proving themselves online. It is choosing peace over attention, discipline over drama, and purpose over popularity. And here's the secret that most never learn: the less you announce, the more people will want to know. The less you explain, the more curious they become. The less you speak, the louder your actions will echo. Because true transformation does not ask for applause. It demands attention by its very nature. Picture this: 6 months from now, a year from now, you've been quietly doing the work. You've been focusing on your health, mastering your skills, aligning your life with your values. The same people who once questioned your silence will be the ones asking for your advice. The same rooms that once overlooked you will start to open their doors, and you won't need to say a word. Your results will speak fluently in every language. But here's the final challenge. Can you stay the course? Can you resist the temptation to break your silence too soon? Can you build in the dark long enough for the light to find you naturally? This is where most people fail. Not because they didn't have the talent, but because they lacked the patience to stay hidden while they grew. Do not rush your season. Do not let their noise drown your purpose. Your time will come,